Hi, I'm Nancy and I'm 24 years old. Getting married may have been a questionable decision for me. I was young and felt like I'd found the love of my life, but who knew things would change so quickly? I wish I could recollect everything from my memory perfectly, but honestly, I'd rather forget. I got engaged in late December. It was cold in Oklahoma at the time, but it always felt a little warm whenever I was around Paul, my husband. His mum, Jackie, seemed like she was a mellow woman who would seem easy to live with. Paul's dad was no longer in the picture, so I had great respect for Jackie since she raised him all on his own. Sadly, this would affect our relationship greatly.
You can marry him, but he'll always be my boy, understand, girl?
She said that the very first day he and I were together after the wedding. Something about her tone felt off. Suddenly, her mellowness had disappeared, and she sounded strict and bitter. Had I done something to make her mad? Of course, Jackie, you are his mum after all. You could think of me as your daughter too if you'd like.
I don't need a daughter. Now go do the dishes. I want you to make something fresh and delicious for your first day. Got to impress your mother-in-law, right?
Oh. Okay, of course, Jackie, I'll do my best. Why was she being so rude to me so suddenly? I couldn't put my finger on it. It was as if she was a whole different person. Paul was somewhere in the backyard trimming the bushes, but I was sure he could hear us. Either way, I got to clean the kitchen for lunch. No one had cleaned the dishes from the night before, and I had to do it all by myself. It felt like I was doing someone else's work, but I didn't complain. Maybe Jackie was having a bad day. It'll get better in a day or two, I was sure of it. I relaxed with Jackie and Paul in the evening. He and I were talking a bit while Jackie just kept giving us looks. Soon I prepared dinner for the first time for Jackie. I was desperate for her approval.
Ugh, this food is kind of terrible, Nancy. Where'd you learn how to cook? Oh, come on, Mum, it's not that bad.
That bad? Paul, I thought you loved this dish.
Oh, get over yourself. My son's got higher standards than that, don't you, my baby? Yeah, Ma. I don't think it's all that bad. Just add some salt. Honestly, I'm surprised it's edible. You could have cooked the meat more, Nancy. Any more undercooked and I could swear this lamb was still bleating.
I'm so sorry. We can trash it and I can make something else really fast.
Oh, no, please. Sit down and eat. The damage is done.
Paulie, call the ambulance. I'm about to eat this. If my liver fails, know that I love you. And Nancy, know that your food barely qualifies as edible. Taunts like this only became more frequent with time. She'd force me to cook and then take time to insult the food until it was too cold to eat. She'd even complain when we got takeouts from a local fast food joint. You know, Nancy, I don't think it's worth gaining as much weight as you over food that tastes like this. Honestly, how did you pick up my son for marriage when your taste and everything else is so terrible? I couldn't handle it and ran out crying. Paul came to me about half an hour later. He was such a changed man around his mother. When I met him at work, he was so vocal and encouraging, and now it's like he's chained to his mum, never standing up for me or saying anything.
Hey, I'm sorry about the way things have been lately. I know you and Mum are not getting along. Look, she's just not used to having another person around, so she's lashing out. I know in my heart that she loves you.
Paul and I were talking things over one day. Jackie had gone out to do some grocery shopping, so we had some alone time. Oh, Paul, you couldn't be more ignorant. Your mum always sounds like she hates me and everything I do. I tried my best, but it's not working out. What do I even do here?
Time, Nancy. Just give it time. She'll go soft on you, I know it.
You're the one who's gone soft. You never say anything to her. You never take a stand for me. What happened to you, Paul?
What happened to me? I'm all the same. I don't know what you're talking about, but that woman is my mother. Why would I ever stand against her?
Because she's being unreasonably horrible with me. What did I even do to deserve this treatment from her? I'm just trying to be a part of the family.
And that's the problem, Nancy. Being a part of the family will take time and effort. Loads of it. I just say, roll with the punches. It'll grow on you. This is her way of showing love, okay? Forget about it. How about we go and catch a movie? I just really feel like being alone right now, Paul. Then why the hell did you get married? Come on, stop moping around. Watch a film with me and we'll have a good time. I promise.
Paul insisted, and I eventually agreed. I was unhappy with the way things had been the past couple of weeks. I hoped the movie theatre would give us some alone time away from Jackie. We went in a little while before Jackie came home, so when we got our popcorn and settled down in our seats, Paul's phone started ringing.
Hello? Mum, yes, we went to watch a film. I left a note on the refrigerator, didn't you see? What do you want to talk about right now? Okay, hold on.
What happened?
I'm so sorry, I think I'll have to talk to her for a minute. I'll step out and be back in, just 5 minute tops.
All right. Paul got off of his seat and wiggled his way through the corridor. He then promptly left me alone in the theatre for the whole duration of the film. That's right, he only came back when the credits started rolling. I went to check on him a bit later, but I couldn't see him anywhere in the halls, and his phone was still busy. Clearly, Jackie kept Paul busy even when she was nowhere close to us. It was getting difficult to bear it. I had some alone time in the theatre and did some thinking. Maybe half of this is Paul's fault for always letting Jackie have her way. How could he leave me like this when he promised me a good time?
Are you serious? I was furious when he came back. Whoa, where's this coming from?
What do you mean, where's it coming from? You went away for 2 hours. You didn't watch the film with me, and you weren't even in the halls. Where have you been?
Whoa, relax now. We can still watch the credits together, isn't that enough? And yes, I wasn't in the hall. I had somewhere to be.
And where's that exactly?
I went to help Mum.
With what? At this point, she better have gotten into some serious emergency for Paul to leave me alone so abruptly.
With the groceries.
You left me here by myself so you could help Jackie with groceries? What did she even need help with, picking stuff up?
And arranging them on the shelves in the fridge. She's an old woman, Nancy. She can't do it all by herself.
Oh, yes, she can drive to the store, buy the groceries and drive back, but suddenly she needs your help to move them to the fridge, and you just said yes.
Can you stop making a big deal out of this? I already told you. The woman is my mother. I can't say no to her. It's not right.
You know, I'm so upset right now. I'm going to the car. I just got out of the theatre and made my way to the car. Paul was right behind me, but he wouldn't say a single word. I don't know what's going on, but I'm clever enough to tell that he definitely didn't go home just for the groceries. Something else was clearly at play here. Maybe they met and had things to say and discuss without including me. It just made sense. Going to the films and leaving me there was a great way to get rid of me for a few hours, but then maybe I was reading too much into the situation. We went home. Jackie had nothing nice to say to me.
Oh, you're back. How lovely. What were you up to when my poor boy helped me with all the groceries, eating popcorn?
Jackie, it was Paul's idea to take me to watch a movie. It's not my fault you needed help with groceries, and he just waltzed out there so suddenly.
Oh, you have some nerve talking to me in that tone, girl. Do you know who I am? I am his mother. He'll do whatever I please, won't you, boy? Mum, can we stop talking about this already? I'm tired and want to sleep.
Oh, I'd be tired too if I was married to her. Go take your nap. I'll prepare dinner. Why don't you make yourself useful and go get some chicken from the supermarket, Nancy? I forgot to get it today. Fine. I didn't want to go, but I wanted to be away from her at any cost. I got to the car and started driving away. I didn't know if I could tell my parents how things were going back home, so I just drove to my brother's place instead. He lived a few miles away and has always had my back. Having a sibling that gets you is such a blessing.
Hey sis, how's it going? What brings you to my place so suddenly?
You have no idea, Rob. Things are really bad for me right now.
Wait, what? I thought you really liked him. What happened?
It's like he's a changed man around his mother. They keep bothering me and she keeps saying terrible things all the time. I don't know if I can handle this. I don't even feel like eating sometimes because she says horrible things about my body.
What? They said what about you? Tell me everything right now.
So I told him about the hurtful comments, the constant mockery and the taunts. I told him everything. My brother was infuriated at Jackie and Paul's inaction. He too had thought that they were going to be good to me when we got married. His trust had been broken, just like mine. We figured having some sort of intervention may be a good idea. He asked me to not take any extreme steps, but also not to suffer in silence.
So the next time she says something hurtful, what do?
We respond, and respond well. We don't tolerate the bullying.
Good. You stay strong and talk back when you have to defend yourself. And if it gets too bad, you know you can always come here. Don't worry, if it gets out of hand, we'll deal with it together. You're not alone, okay?
Okay, Rob. Thank you so much. Rob's always been a protective big brother to me, but I think that's the difference between him and Jackie. He can be protective without overshadowing me every action. Regardless, I quickly grabbed some chicken on my way back and went home. I knew Jackie would have things to say because I was late.
What, did you eat a whole chicken on your way home and have to go back to grab another one? Okay, that's enough, Jackie. You know you don't have to be so rude to me.
That's enough.
Paul, look what your bride's saying to me. You really think you can talk to me in that tone and get away with it?
She came close and in my face.
Her eyes were trying to bore a hole through me, but I stood my ground.
I was scared. Nobody had ever been this angry at me before, not to the point where it felt like they would physically assault me. When I didn't back off, Jackie pushed me away and snatched the chicken away from me.
You're lucky he's not awake. Your husband would give you divorce right now if I asked him to. All I'd have to do is show him how terrible you are at just about everything.
If I'm so terrible,
why did he decide to go and marry me? Wasn't it you who supported us?
Yes, it was. Honestly, at the time, I thought you'd be a good helping hand for my older days, but that was a bad idea.
You're not even good enough to be a qualified maid.
If you want a maid, just pay to have one, you cheapskate.
Don't you dare call me a cheapskate. You don't know who you're dealing with.
The man you call your husband was raised by my hand and my hand alone,
and my hand can decide if you stay or go.
And right now, I'm tempted to let you go away. She screamed at me so loudly that I was sure the whole neighborhood had an earful of us. I couldn't keep my tears in anymore. I broke down sobbing and stomped away into the backyard. Shutting the sliding door behind me, I sat down in the grass and cried my heart out. I finally decided to tell Rob about everything and told him I couldn't handle it anymore. Waiting for it to get worse was hardly something we should have done, so I promptly called him to our place, and he came the next day in the morning. The bell rang and Jackie approached the door to see through the peephole.
Rob? Nancy, you called your brother? What is this supposed to be?
Rob had a big build and could appear intimidating if he wanted to. To me, he was like a big teddy bear, but he could easily look like a wrestler if he so wished. Rob wants to talk to you and Paul about everything that's been going on. You're not treating me very kindly, and I can't have it work this way.
Are you serious right now? This matter didn't have to leave our living room, and you decided to call him in the morning because Paul's at work, didn't you?
Just open the door, Jackie. I wish Paul was around when Rob visited, but he didn't have the time apart from right now. Jackie made a face but opened the door with a smile on her face, as if Rob was going to believe anything. She was all joy when she greeted him.
Oh, Rob, it's been so long since I've seen you. How have you been? You look healthy. Thank you, it's been a while. Can I come in? Of course, please come in.
Nancy, some water for your big brother, yes?
It's okay, I just had some in my car.
Rob's presence quickly filled the room. He moved around slowly, inspecting the house, and settled down on the couch in front of Jackie. I sat down next to him.
So, what brings you here, just to visit? No, actually, I wanted to check up on Nancy. She mentioned some trouble in Paradise. Oh, what trouble? I think we've been getting along splendidly, haven't we, Nancy? Why don't you tell him? Oh, she's told me enough. Look, let's cut to the chase. You've been having what one might call adjustment issues with my sister, and I understand that you've been having constant fights.
Oh, I wouldn't call them fights, just banter. That happens between mothers and daughters. I know my mother-in-law and I exchanged quite a few words back in our day. Sadly, she passed before Paul was born.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, this banter has to stop. Unlike you, Nancy here is not very fond of it. I think marriage has to be about mutual respect, right? Even from the rest of the family?
And what do you think, Nancy? I think it's time for us to settle this dispute and make peace, Jackie.
And what dispute would that be?
Why have you changed? Why do you hate me so much so suddenly? Did I do something to piss you off?
Oh my God, do we have to do this in front of your brother?
Don't mind me. I'm here to make sure you two settle it properly.
Oh, God, fine. It's because I don't like to share, okay? My son has been my son and only mine our whole lives. Now you've suddenly waltzed in and he's supposed to give all his time to you? That doesn't sit right with me.
He's my husband.
And he doesn't give his time to me, he gives it to you. Which is exactly how it should be. I don't believe this. This is so childish of you. Don't you dare yell at me and call me a child. Okay, relax the two of you and please stop yelling at each other. This isn't going to fix anything.
Oh, yeah? So what will fix this, Rob? Do you have any bright ideas? I hated the way she was talking to Rob. Just such a sudden change in tone. It was like the woman could change colours like a chameleon. Look, I see there's a problem. I think the only way to solve this is if you two get some time alone, trying to understand each other. A change of pace, maybe do some things together rather than handling the house and working. What are you suggesting? Take a trip! I think it would be a wonderful idea to go on a little family vacation. The weather's a bit annoying here right now anyway. Wouldn't you like an exotic family trip, Jackie? Oh, I most certainly would, but what makes you think we can afford one after the wedding? Don't worry about that. I have a friend who has a travel company. We can take care of most of my expenses. Consider it a gift from Nancy's brother. Are you serious right now? Where would we even go?
How does France sound?
Oh my God, France sounds lovely! Rob, you don't have to do this. It'll be so expensive for you guys. Oh, come on, Nancy, it's a gift. You have to appreciate it. But, oh, there's a condition, Jackie. For you two, Nancy, the two of you have to try and get along with each other. We'll do our best, won't we, Nancy? Jackie's eyes were suddenly full of promise. I'd never seen her this elated before, not even at the wedding. I didn't think trusting her would be a good idea, but I did deserve a little break from everything. France must be lovely this time of year. Still unsure of the whole ordeal, I said yes to Rob. That evening, Paul came back home and we broke the news to him. He was extremely ecstatic when he got to know and dropped his working bag to celebrate with us at once. Finally, it felt like the three of us were getting along. I was sceptical at first, but maybe Rob's idea was working well. Paul got a few days off from work the next week and we began packing for the trip.
Hey, you remember the cute bags we got for ourselves for our little trip to Florida?
The ones that look alike? Yes! Do you think we should take them with us?
Of course, I love those bags. Reminds me of that trip.
All right. Jackie had become a bit detached from us. She would often call someone and talk to them for hours. I think she was realizing her mistake and giving us some time for ourselves, but she still made some weird comments about Paul not giving her any time. She didn't talk to me much. This one time I heard her and Paul having an argument in her room. The door was closed, so I couldn't hear much.
Mum, she's my wife. I have to give her at least a little time. I thought you were okay now. What's wrong?
I'm not okay. I want to be, but I'm not. I still can't get myself to like her. What do you want me to do? I need to have more time with you. You were like this little when I had you.
That's why we're taking the trip, so you get to like each other, and I'm always going to be around, aren't I?
Oh, all of you are living in fantasies. Fine, I'll do something about this myself.
What are you going to do?
Look, here's the plan, and I need you to go along with it. I have this little pack I got from someone I know. I couldn't hear the rest of it because they probably started whispering, but they had a plan. What was going on? I was concerned but didn't do much about it. I thought everything would work out fine if I just paid attention to what they were doing. We packed our bags, both mine and his looked similar, but I could always tell which was which by the weight. On the day of departure, Jackie looked really happy. She talked to me as well, and didn't make any weird faces. I found it intriguing, but I guessed it was because we were finally going on the trip. Before check-in, we had to go through customs. We put our bags into the conveyor belt for them to get going. Jackie leaned in to whisper something odd in my ears. It's going to be such fun! I didn't say anything. I already knew what she was up to. We moved through the line. I went through and my bags were inspected. Everything turned out fine, and I was allowed to go through customs. When I turned around, Jackie's face was ever so confused. What was this woman scheming? And that's when it hit. Paul had not come out yet. We looked around to see officers rushing to the customs counter. They were escorting Paul away as he pleaded,
Please, please, I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything. I don't know where that came from. I don't know.
Wait, what's going on? Jackie rushed to his aid, but the officers held her back.
Please stay back, ma'am. We found something illegal with this person. We need to take him to interrogation.
He's my son, please! He didn't do anything wrong! Please! But her cries were worthless. Jackie had a breakdown right there in public. I didn't move a single inch. I knew that what was going through that woman's head. She must be cursing herself for what she did. Jackie tried planting a small pack of drugs in my bag before we left, and she was successful. The bags looked identical, but she did recognize my bag and put the pack in it. Why didn't I get caught then? It's because I removed it from mine and put it in Paul's bag instead. They planned on excluding me from the trip entirely, so I turned their plan against them. I had the biggest smile on my face when Jackie looked back at me through the tears in my eyes. She deserved what she got. I took my vacation to France and divorced Paul once I was back. I was looking forward to making things work. But this was a clear indicator that they were never going to. So I stood my ground just like my brother had asked me to. It was the justice I deserved.